Good morning. So, we will start a new chapter today. I hope some of the assignments we saw yesterday about arrays in C. Now, at least some of the concepts might be clear. I hope so. One program that we tried perhaps day before yesterday, if I'm not wrong, uh, we tried one program of double dimension array. And I told you that we will develop that. Uh, so sometime in the future, in meantime, we will try to develop that program, that marks of a student. So we want to, mm, find one column so that total of those marks will be, can be done and printed over there. If it is possible, percentile marks. So no, we will try that. Uh, let's start a new chapter that is a strings in C. Now, basically, you also might have observed that I talked about array of integers or array of floats, right? So there can be an array of float as well. We didn't consider that while writing a program, but there can be an array of float numbers or array of doubles like that. But I never mentioned array of characters. Basically, array of characters is regarded as a separate topic because it has got some different structure, different memory structure is internal memory structure is different. That's why we consider as the strings and separate chapter. Basically, it is an array. So, what we will learn in this chapter? Basically, string. What is the string? What is the string terminating character? How we can input the string? Uh, what is format specifier for printing string? Definitely, as I told in the pointers chapter, that pointer will appear in each subsequent chapter. So we saw functions and pointers, then pointers and arrays, and in this chapter again pointers and strings. Then uh, I wrongly read there how to not string input but how to print the string. Then some standard library functions are there. We are going to see uh, which library functions are there which can be used while uh, developing some application. Then can we write similar functions on our own? Basically, library functions are available, but why we try to write our user-defined functions only because to grasp on uh, pointers and strings. That is the reason. And the last part of this will be array of strings. Okay, it is like I told you, double dimensional array is an array of single dimensional array. So similarly, string is a array of characters. So array of strings will be it will be a double dimensional this thing array of characters, right? We will directly start uh, all concepts by programming, right? So we declared array like this. This is an array of five integers, right? If we declare array of suppose average rainfall. Right? So this will have an area of floating point constant. So similarly, there is a array of characters. So if you try to write array of characters like this, right? Suppose array of suppose first name, suppose 10, right? Then how to write this, right? Suppose I want to store. Let me not give the size. I want to store. Uh, suppose mm, Ashutosh, right? So how I will have to write this? I will have to write like this. See, if we want to store, so this is not, no, this is not a proper way to because see here, if we want to store one name, this much typing we have to do. How we can manage all these things? First of all, second thing is that if I want to print this, suppose particular. So how much I will have to do? I will have to write loop like this. I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to. What is the number of characters I have to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? That fit 8 here. Right? Then I have to write that I plus plus. Then I will write here printf percent %c, and then I have to write here first name uh, I, and after doing so much thing, then only if I run this code, then it will print the first time. Okay. Now this is not advisable. This is not acceptable. You can see, because data can be anything. It is not integer or character or a float. Once we start programming, there can be a name of a student, surname of a student, address. Right? Lot of data is in the form of uh, uh, number of characters. Right? Email address is a uh, number of characters are there, what we call as alphanumeric. Then there can be a password, again that is a number of characters are there. So huge data is in the form of array of characters. So that is why Dennis Ritchie proposed a different concept for representing array of characters, and that array of characters is called a um, string. So definition of, basically it is defined as, in C, an array of characters no a string in C is an array of characters but terminated by /0. This is the definition of a string. The array of characters is, a string is an array of characters terminated by /0. So at the end of the array of characters, there is one special character called /0, right? So this is an array of characters, but this is not a string. This is not a string. Why? Because this is not terminated by /0. So if I put here /0, then this is the string, right? What is the use of this? The use of this is that I can print this string. Okay? I will use the different loop, while, right? First name of I, right? I will remove these first two arrays. First name of I will initialize to 0, right? And while first name of I not equal to /0. Okay, print it. So if we compare it with earlier loop, this is much better, right? This is much better because you again here given here terminating condition, right? I'll have to increment that, right? So as compared to earlier loop, that I is equal to 0, uh, count the number of characters in that array. This is minimized here because uh, we have put the /0. So if I run this, it will print the Ashok. So this is much better, right? This is the string. But this again is not, no, this is not feasible. This is not also logical, right? Each time we cannot do like this. Dennis Ritchie proposed on this the way, different way to put the array of characters in uh, double quotes. So, right? And I can print this. Okay. So I will declare one character pointer, char star ptr, right? And I will initialize this pointer to observe this carefully. First thing, right? So there is one string, right? This is the string, and same rule applies here because it is an array. So name of an array contains the base address of an array. So this contains the that first name contains address of A, that is the first element, right? That we are storing in one character pointer. Why character pointer? Because this is an array of characters, right? Basically, this is the string. Now you will ask me where is that slash zero? We will come to know. Okay. Observe this program very carefully. Now let me see how I am going to write this. While star ptr, right, not equal to slash zero, I will write here star ptr, right? And I will write here ptr plus plus. All right. Now if I run this code, this I is not required now. Loop counter is not there. If I run this code, it will print Ashutosh, right? How is it possible? Because in the earlier case, when array of characters was there, I put there explicitly slash zero as the last character, and I use that slash zero, which is a special character, as a terminating condition inside the uh, for the while loop, right? Then it is okay, understandable. But where is this slash zero? So friends, when you assign this string, right, slash zero is automatically inserted by the compiler. That is the reason I can put the condition like this, right? Slash zero is a special character whose ASCII value is zero. Okay, slash zero, it is basically a single character, not slash and zero or two. I explained this using animation in the course given to you so that your concepts are strengthened. And this slash zero has get ASCII value as zero. Okay. What is the ASCII value of zero? ASCII value of zero is 48. That is the integer zero, right? And slash zero has got ASCII value as zero. So when I store inside this, when this is stored inside memory, right? The slash zero will be automatically put as the last character, right? Now this is also now if want to print this string, this is also a rigorous task. Okay? To put that array and write everything ptr plus plus this that. Okay? That is also tedious. It is not advisable, right? So I will remove all these things. So Denisici has given you. Sorry for interruption. Denisici has given you a special format specifier. So format specifier for integer is percentage. Um, I forgot to tell you. I think there is a format specific for integer I also. Okay, because there is obvious question for character %c, for float %f, right? Um, then why not percent %i for integer? So percent %i is a format specifier. You can check it right on your machine. That is also valid. For string, he has given the format specifier obviously as a percent %s, right? So if I have uh, declared string like char first name is equal to Ashutosh, right? Then I can print this using the format specifier as percent %s, right? Now, what is to be written here? That is a big question, right? Because if you declare a variable as suppose int was roll number, right? Float marks, right? If you want to print that roll number, suppose I assign it here, right? And assign marks suppose, right? So we send the argument as roll number, right? Now see the difference. Why string is regarded as a different than that array of integers or array of float? Okay, because you should know that why this is a separate chapter, why this has got special treatment. Now this roll number is a integer, so we use percent. This marks is a floating point constant, so it is suppose this it takes suppose 4 bytes, this takes suppose 4 bytes, and when we say array of integers, we have to put it inside the loop, and you say num of I, num of right, num of I. So likewise, we print the whole array. But what is to be done here? Should we, if percent %s is the string, then what is to be sent here? Similar to that roll number and marks, you send here name of an array, right? And it will print, right? Try to understand the subtle difference. Very subtle difference is there. Very minute difference is there. You need to understand this because when I declare an array like this, okay, then to print array we have to use the loop. We cannot no why? Because it is array of integers, right? Separate integer has got no 4 bytes of memory. But this is quite different thing. Okay? It is an array of characters, right? And single character doesn't have any meaning. Single character doesn't have any meaning. In case of array of integers, that each integer has got some no unique identity. But in this case, this only A doesn't have that separate identity. Okay, this the full Ashutosh written in say certain sequence, and it has got some separate identity, right? Because this individual is just a character from that set of alphabets, right? But when you form this, it becomes a name. And that is the reason. One more thing is that when you want, if I want to print that, okay, uh, this array, if you want to print this array, you cannot send num so that it will print whole array. It is not possible. You have to put that inside the loop and num of I, that is num of 0, num of 1, num of 2, num of 3. Like that, you have to access whole array, right? But that is not required when we think of a string, right? You just send base address of an array. That's it. So it will print that, right? So let's print that. It will print that, right? So see from which program, which large program we have now reached at this level. Initially we write that loop, then next level we uh, put the slash zero and no, if you can recall that we tried while loop and that each character till not last character not slash zero. Then we advance the stage and we declare some pointer and using pointer you access that whole array till slash zero. And this is the last case which is most simplified is that use the format specifier %s and just send base address. That's it. Base address. Right? So this is basically the how string can be printed. But how to take the input? That is one more question. So we'll do that, right? We will do that. So what we will do? We will um, relate is a small problem, right? So int roll number, right? Float, suppose percentage, char, grade, and I suppose now student will be having name. We never took name of any student. You might have observed in first 7 chapters, right? So we'll say cap name, right? Um, Suppose I write student name, right? Uh, we'll take first name, right? And the tentative this thing we will give size of an array like this, right? So what we will do, we will take the input and print the output. That's it. We won't do too much things here. So printf, enter roll number, right? Scanf, cd, and roll number. Then I will write enter percentage, right? It has to be float, enter grade obtained, right? I will write here percent %c and grade, and I will write here enter name, right? Now one more thing here, okay? Because you will ask why actually I haven't written there ampersand. Obviously, because there is ampersand here, here, and here, and why not here? The reason is that this variable contains roll number. This variable contains percentage. It is a float. This variable contains grade. Okay. Uh, Now, when we want to store to scanf function, we need to send address of that variable because at that address the value will be stored. So when you enter integer, we are telling the compiler store the integer received by from the keyboard at the address of roll number. Store percentage received from the keyboard at the address of variable percentage. Store input from the user at the address of grade or at the address of variable grade. Here, if you recall the concepts you learned in the last chapter, the name of the array itself contains the base address. So this itself is the address, right? So you don't need to separately send write there ampersand because first name itself contains the address, right? And I will print this now, everything. I will call the display, no, not right now. Everything should not be done at a time. Roll number, percentage, right? Roll number, name, percentage, foreign specifier for taking the input as well as printing. And here again, as said earlier, uh, you are sending the base address. When you are sending base address to the printf function, you are telling the compiler that go at this address and start printing. Right? Right? Now, I don't know whether you encountered this problem or not, but here there might be a problem. Okay. Before I compile this program, I will giving you my suspicion. Right? Earlier, I don't know how you encountered this problem while solving loop or programs in loop control structure. I don't know, but you didn't. Perhaps you didn't ask me that question. Rather, you should have asked. I don't know whether you have tried assignments or not, but in some assignment you should have faced that problem. So here, enter roll number, right? Suppose 101. Enter percentage. Suppose 89.65. See here, I told you, enter grade obtained. The screen didn't wait for that input, right? And here I will give name as Tanmay. So it prints that roll number, name, Tanmay, percentage, and grade. Grade it has not taken input, so that's why it didn't give you output. I really wonder how you didn't come across this difficulty uh, in the function chapter or uh, arrays. Uh, I will tell you what happens here. See here, I will declare three variables, right? Int x, float y and suppose char ch, right? I will take input from the user, right? Uh, enter number, right? %d and x. Enter suppose what with real number, right? This is y, this is f, this is c, this is ch, right? And I print those all these %d slash n y is equal to %f slash n ch is equal to %c slash n and print x, y and ch. Right? So when I run this code, perhaps you didn't try writing small codes like I used to write. That might be one of the reasons. Right? I try a lot of small codes to understand that intricacies of C programming language. So if I compile this program and run this, right? It asked for one number 50, suppose 56, real number, and see it didn't wait for that. This okay. As soon as this message is printed, it should wait for user input because you have put that scanf function, right? So what is the problem here? The problem here is that it is problem of character input, right? When you enter number, see here how the process takes place. When you enter number, this message, this statement is executed, and the control is at this statement, right? Control is that this statement. Now, uh, it is waiting for user input only because the control is inside the scanf function. Okay? And scanf function task is to take the input from the keyboard, right? So it won't go till you press something and press enter key. So the moment you press the enter key, some number, right? 56 will be stored at the address of x. The moment you hit the enter key, right? So the moment you hit the enter key, 56 will be stored. Next printf statement is executed, and next scanf function control is at the next scanf function, that is at line number 13, and it is again waiting for user input, right? Suppose you enter this and if you hit the enter key. Now see the uh, at what sequence it is going, everything is going. Okay. First of all, this keyboard has got buffer. What do you mean by buffer? It is a uh, the keyboard has got memory, right? Own memory. Mouse has got own memory. Every device has got its own memory, right? So it is a kind of a queue. I hope you what I mean by queue, right? It is a queue. So what happens when you get the message here, this message, right? You enter 5. So you press the 5, right? So that 5 goes inside the queue. Then you press 6. So 6 goes inside the queue, right? And then you press the enter key. That's why 56 is stored there because you are pressing two keys, right? After that, I enter 6.5, right? Or suppose like this, right? So these many keys are we have entered 6. So 6 will go inside queue, then dot will go inside queue. Imagine like a pipe, okay? Small empty pipe. So 5 is sent, 9 is sent, 8 is sent, 4 is sent, 5 is sent. Okay. And when you press the enter key, right, then this whole number is stored in that variable y, and that pipe becomes again empty, right? What happens is that it creates a problem for character input. Why? Because when you press the enter key, that enter key is also sent into that uh, no uh, pipe each time. So when you actually enter 5 and 6, that 5 goes inside the pipe, 6 goes inside the pipe, and enter key also goes inside the pipe. Alright? But the format specifier is %d, right? So it just accept that 56, that's it, and that enter key is lost. Right? Enter key is not accepted. I mean it is not stored at the memory location of X. Same thing happens here 6059845. Same thing happens here. So enter key is not there. But enter key is inside the pipe, right? What happens when this scanf, when control reaches at this scanf, it feels that there is a character in the pipe. So I should accept that. Why? Because it is a character. Right? That enter key is a character. Okay. So that percent C, that at the address of ch, that enter key is stored. That the ASCII value of that enter key. Okay. Which I told you the zero. So it is zero. That enter key is stored over there at the address of ch. Right. So that's why it doesn't wait. Right. And nothing is printed here. It is a blank space. Right. Blank space. The ASCII value 0 has got a ASCII character as blank space. So the- in the earlier when I wrote code, perhaps you didn't observe it carefully. I put one blank space. If you go earlier videos, okay, particularly loop, I wrote one loop. If you can remember, uh, do you want to enter again? Yes, no, kind of that program. If you observe that code again, then you will find intentionally I put there one blank space. Okay, perhaps you didn't recognize it. Okay, I thought you would ask me it at that time. Well, you didn't. The, you know, you couldn't notice that small subtle difference. Okay, when I wrote that program. Otherwise, this problem should have cropped at that moment. But I had already put the one blank space over there. Right? This is a raw method of because that enter key goes no, okay, because of the blank space, the next character whatever you are going to input, it will be stored at the address of ch. This is a raw method, but it works. Okay. Now this all thing is not either taught or no, um, you won't find in the books, right? So now if I run this code, if I enter suppose 55, so 55 will be stored, right? Right? I enter real number, so suppose 85 point 85 point, right? And The moment I hit the enter key, since I have put that one blank space, okay, that enter key is lost somewhere in that blank space, okay, inside the machine, and the user now the percent %c and that scanf function will wait for user input. So it is now waiting for me. Okay. So I enter suppose A, that is done. Right. Now this is the problem here. Right. So if I put here one blank space, then it will take all input for all variables. Right. If I enter 101 real okay, earlier program is getting executed, I think. Earlier program is getting executed. I have to close this. Okay. So enter roll number. It is a 101. Enter percentage. Right. Suppose 89.7. Enter grade. Suppose A and enter name. That is. Can you hear the voice of uh, heavy rains? I think it is audible through the this mic. So see here. Got that? So this is how string works. So I hope this much part you have understood everything, right? Now let's run this program one more time. 101 percentage grade, and okay, though I have written as the first name, let me enter the full name here because 50 bytes are there, right? 50 bytes are there, so I can store that. I will enter name as then my D, right? But see here, what is the output? Output is basically it is not printing full name, though I have no entered that. No, that is a limitation of scanf function. That is a limitation of scanf function. Scanf function cannot take uh, multi-string output. Right? It cannot take. It has got that limitation. So Dennis Ritchie has given one function not these days some more functions are there, but they have given as a get string, right? And just here same first name, right? Get string takes multi-word input, right? Scanf function it accepts, but it is not stored, right? That is the limitation of scanf function. Now suppose I enter now getString is unformatted function, right? It is not formatted. It is 101 percentage, right? So run my D. What happened? Sorry, I entered the wrong input. 101 percentage grade obtained and didn't wait for here now the gate is no, it is not waiting for input. Let me call some function. Uh, yeah, that flush f flush works here. Got that? Now it prints the whole out. I mean whole name here. Right? In the earlier case, it took the whole input, but it didn't store that way. Okay. The moment that scanf function comes across the blank space, okay, next of the string was no ignored by scanf function, right? Because scanf function is unable to take multi-word string. So there is a getIs function. So now it is printed. Got that? Uh, the counterpart of getIs function is the putis function, right? So there is a function called putis, right? And you need to send what you want to give the message. So I would give the message as enter name of a student, right? So I enter suppose 101 percentage grade name of a student. Have you observed here? The cursor is taken to the next line. Okay. I haven't put the slash n over there, but puts function takes cursor to the next line. Name of a student. Okay. So got that? So the get is get string function. It stands for get string, and put is that is a put string, right? So I will recap. String is a array of characters terminated by /0, right? Second, when you take the input, you need to send name of a array, right? Which contains the base address. So in case of string, you just send name of a array. That's it. Don't need to attach the address of operator. Percentage is the format specifier for string. Uh, then get is used for getting the string input for multi-word string. It is a unformatted function. What do you mean the unformatted? Inside the getIs, we are not using percentage and all this because that function itself is for the string. So no question of percentage and all these things, right? So that's why it is called unformatted. Scanf is formatted. That's why we need to send %d, percentage, percent, right? All this we need to send. Put is the counterpart of getIs function. So put string. It automatically puts the uh, this thing, what, slash n, right, new line. One more thing, what I would like to tell you is that I don't know whether you recognize this or not. I told you that uh, when I initialize the string, right, in the earlier small code, I initialize the string, like, no, let me initialize one string, cap last name, right, 50, or like that, is equal to, or you can give 50 or whatever, right, suppose 20, and I say that now I told you that when I when string is stored, okay, if you can remember, how could we print that? Only because I told you that compiler inserts a string terminating character, that is a slash zero, that is done by compiler, so that string can be accessed uh, easily, right? Because it will go on accessing characters from the memory till it comes across slash zero inserted by the compiler. Now, next question is, when you enter the string, when that slash zero is stored. The answer to this question is that when you press the enter key, that slash zero is stored at that end of the string, right? So intelligently they have done everything. When you press the enter key, right, after entering the string, when you press the enter key or return key, then at that location inside memory slash zero is stored. So that when next time you access that string, again it is traversed till it encounters slash zero. Not that? Very intelligent. If I enter here, I am entering just name because surname, last name we have already uh, assigned, right? So you got everything, basic concepts of string. I hope uh, they are clear. F flush is that, no. F flush is flushing that, no. I told you that whole concept of leaving blank space before that percent %c, right? So when I use the F flush, okay, what I am telling, flush that. Whatever is in the queue, flush that. So that whatever comes afterwards as a legal input, it can be stored, right? So F flush is actually function to flush that something remaining in that queue, like enter key or like that. So it will be flushed. Everything will be flushed, right? So F flush is usually required for, no, just before you take uh, that character input or string input. F flush is required, and that stdin is the argument sent to the F flush. Stdin is what? Argument, standard input. So whatever coming from the standard input, what is the standard input? Keyboard. So whatever coming from the standard input, what has come from the standard input, flush that, right? So what happens when you press the enter key here? That enter key is inside this stdin, right? Inside this stdin, we are telling flush that. Okay, we use the flush in our bathroom, right? What do? Flush everything, whatever is there, flush. Or in the sink, you know, pour suppose bucket full of water. Everything there is flushed. Okay, so same thing they are doing here. All right. Then getS is get string function. Okay, if you are taking input, string input, okay, that is a getS. Usually getS and putS are no using together. Likewise, I can use the getS. No, what is the problem? Okay. Suppose I read getS because inside printf what is there is string. Okay, enter marks. That is also a message. Sorry, not getS, putS. Sorry, right? PutS is also a. But you know, uh, usually for getting marks, we are going to use the scanf. So that pair looks odd. That's why we use printf function, right? See, actually, this is also a string. I told you, no, in the first chapter, and in the same fashion, we see there is a. These are same, double written in double quotes, written in double quotes, right? So argument to printf function is basically a string, array of characters, right? And there is also slash zero put by the compiler. That's why it goes, it prints the message, enter roll number, it leaves one tab space, okay, and it waits there. Why? Because inside the memory it comes across that slash zero uh, inserted by the compiler, right? So a lot of things are there. So you want to ask any questions? Tomorrow we will start is 12:20. Okay. Tomorrow we will start with the remaining part of that. So we have uh, reached up to half of the portion. String terminating character, string input, string output, and format specifier. What is remaining? Pointers and strings, library functions, user-defined functions, and array of strings. So half of that is covered today. So what do you say? Shall we stop? I don't have programs as of now today. Okay. Programs I will give you tomorrow, right? If any questions are there, free to ask. How much you have understood today? Everything? Any questions? Any doubts? Was it comfortable? Are you comfortable along with strings?